Doctors Anthony Fauci and Deborah Birx are no longer having their hands tied by an administration, and as such, over the last few days, both of them have come out publicly to absolutely torch their former boss's Donald Trump's pandemic response. Now, Fauci has been all over the media the last few days, and part of the reason for that is because the media has wanted to talk to Fauci for quite some time now. They've just been not allowed to do so by Donald Trump. Fauci's been on Rachel Maddow's program. He did an interview with the New York Times. And in the Maddow interview, he admitted that data was being suppressed by the Trump administration. Now, that is a huge admission. We had known that was happening. We had documents that suggested this was happening. But to hear it from his own mouth, that's totally different. But in this New York Times interview that came out on Monday, Fauci says that Donald Trump had pressured him to be more positive about the pandemic. That was one of the things that was just making Donald Trump so mad when Fauci would talk to the press. Said he was too pessimistic. Oh, people are dying. Ugh. Come on, man. Put on a happy face about it. Hey, look at all these people dying. Wow, the funeral industry is booming, folks. I mean, really, is that the kind of positivity you were hoping for, Donald? Because that's about the only thing you could be positive about. If you own a funeral home, yeah, the pandemic's been kick-ass for you. If you're somebody who lost a loved one due to COVID, probably not much to be optimistic about, right? Then Dr. Deborah Birx came out, and she said that throughout this thing, there were still members of the Trump administration who thought the whole thing was a hoax. People in this administration, in charge of the pandemic response, still thought it was all overblown, that it was a hoax, that none of it was really real, and that it was all a media creation. Now, I often like to point out the fact that in the very early days, 12 months ago, from where we are right here, I too was skeptical because I have seen the media, after years and years and years of doing this, of overhyping pandemics and epidemics and things like that. So I was skeptical at first, but I always said, follow the advice of the experts. Didn't take too long for us to realize this thing was not overblown. This thing was not a hoax. This was the real deal. So at that point, anybody who didn't get on board, they were deniers. And that's what Dr. Deborah Birx is telling us. That's what this administration was doing. They were still in denial about what was really happening. Now, Birx has also taken a lot of criticism over the last few days for refusing to stand up to Donald Trump. And she deserves every bit of that criticism. Because if you want to be a professional and you want to be a part of this pandemic response, you don't get to put your credentials aside, the oaths you took as a doctor and all that. You don't just get to say, well, I know I'm supposed to do these things, but I really want my job. And she became an apologist for Donald Trump. She went out there. She carried water for him. She wasn't above lying. So yes, she deserves all the criticism she is getting. But that doesn't mean we have to discount what she is saying now, that members of this administration were in fact denying the very existence of the pandemic throughout its entirety. So what now? Investigations. An absolute 9/11 Commission style panel has to be convened to look into the failures of this administration. The public needs to understand what happened. Because until we have that, until we know all of the missteps along the way and all the bad actors, it's going to be very difficult for the public to move forward with our pandemic response without knowing how bad things really are.